After watching the spring game, I gotta tell you something. The Miami Hurricanes are beating Texas A&M, Clemson, winning the ACC, and a national championship in 2022. Whoa, whoa, whoa there. Hold your horses. I said all of that in the intro so I could say this. There is absolutely no way that you could accurately make a season prediction based off of a spring game. I saw people posting on social media saying we're definitely gonna beat down these guys or we're definitely losing to this team, and they were basing all of that off of today's spring game. The spring game is more so an opportunity for the coaches to gather up some film so they can properly evaluate these guys. They want to see if in a live game scenario that these guys are actually taking what they're taught and applying it, if they're actually improving and absorbing what they're being taught. And I'm in no way downplaying the importance of the spring game. I just thought that, maybe after all these years, people would stop overreacting to them. But obviously, that's not the case. But even so, that doesn't change the fact that basics and fundamentals, things like catching the ball, should still be executed to perfection. So with that being said, let's recap what happened during the spring game today and talk some stats. Right out of the gate, I want to talk about some big things that impressed me this afternoon, starting with the defense. Overall, I think that Canes fans can agree that our corners looked much better. They were way more physical and missed less tackles. This is definitely the result of better coaching and just straight up better play calling. Gilbert Frierson played very well. That man has a huge opportunity here, and it looks like he's ready to step up and accept the challenge. That man was all over the field this afternoon. The coaching staff has been talking him up, and he looked the part. The Avante and James Williams combo in the backfield at safety is going to be one of the scariest combos to watch in all of college football this season, and I truly believe that. And honestly, I get a kick out of it every time I see James Williams on the field because dude just looks like an absolute monster out there. He's one or two heads taller than everybody else on the field. The D-line made some big plays. I felt like that Leonard Taylor, Cyrus Moss, and Lichtenstein all played very well. They were consistently creating chaos up front. And Lichtenstein especially, because I haven't seen a lot of talk about the USC transfer over these last few months, but after this spring game, I can guarantee you that you're going to start seeing his name pop up a lot more often. And tackling just as a whole was much better than what it was last season. And again, I realized it was just one spring game, and in the second half of it, we were kind of just thudding and touching. It wasn't necessarily tackling to the ground, but even just what I saw in that first half, it looks so much better than what it was last year. There's always room for improvement, but last year was just, let's not even go there. That's in the past.
Look right here.
When it comes to the offense, running backs Parrish and Franklin looked the part. I feel like that they're trying to make the most of this opportunity with Chaney and Knighton still out. And I think that those guys could push for a lot of playing time this season, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens once Knighton and Chaney are both healthy. I think that Franklin is trying to show that he's more than just a short yardage back, but again, with the amount of talent at that position in that room when everyone's healthy, I don't know. I don't know if he gets used for more than that. 3rd and 1, 4th and goal from the 1 yard line. But time will tell. We'll see, because Franklin is a very talented running back. So we'll just see. Let me know down in the comment section below on that one what you think, how you feel about it. Assume that all those guys are healthy. Does Thad Franklin crack that just normal starting rotation, or is he just typically used as a short yardage back? Let me know how you feel about it. The walk-on running back, Perry, actually had a pretty good afternoon. He was actually the second leading rusher behind Franklin. And all things considered, I also feel like the O-line held up pretty well. I mean, TVD did get sacked a few times. I think Garcia got sacked a time or two as well. But they looked improved overall. I mean, we do have some injuries in that position group, so I expect that lineup to probably change by the time the season gets here. But I mean, I'm not mad about their performance today. Restrepo came out and showed that he not only talks the talk, but he also walks the walk. If you throw him the ball and he drops it, it's not going to be due to lack of effort. That man had a pretty good day. And speaking of receivers, let's talk about some of the bad things from today, because it's not all good. The wide receiver group as a whole was inconsistent, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. I mean, there weren't as many drop balls as there were last season, but I still need to see some more guys step up in that room. There is absolutely a lot of room for improvement there. And we didn't take many deep shots in the spring game, but when we did, TVD just couldn't really connect. And there were multiple times that I saw Skinner wide open down the sideline, but TVD just didn't see him. Overall, me personally, I feel like the defense won the day. And I'm seeing a lot of conflicting reports on that, because people are saying, Coop, look at the scoreboard, or Coop, look at the amount of yards that were picked up on the ground or through the air, or TVD picking up 2 big runs totaling 22 yards on the ground, and this and that, and giving me all these different stats to look at. But just the overall vibe from it, maybe it's just because our defense was so bad last season that when I look at them now, when they play well, I just automatically think they won the day. But I feel like that the defense kind of owned it today. And to wrap this thing up, I'm going to hit you guys with some quick stats. And just keep in mind that these aren't all of the stats from today's spring game. These are just some of the big ones that I'm throwing at you. And of course, we'll definitely toss in all of the quarterback stats, because everybody loves talking about quarterbacks. Now, I may put a graphic image up here on the screen. If not, I'm sorry. I may just not have time to throw it into this video. So I'll just try to not go too fast so everyone can keep up with it. So Tyler Van Dyke on the day was 20 of 33 for 172 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Garcia was 14 of 24 for 140 yards. He didn't have any touchdown passes. Ja'Cory Brown was 3 of 6 for 14 yards and 1 interception. Walk-on QB Aaron Howard. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I was not super familiar with Howard coming into this game, but he went 4 of 6 for 45 yards, and Matoka got some snaps as well. He went 2 of 3 for 8 yards. In the receiver room, Restrepo had 6 receptions for 60 yards. He led the receivers today, and Jacoby George caught a 5-yard touchdown pass. Thad Franklin had 15 carries for 54 yards. Parrish had 8 carries for 38 yards, and Perry had 7 carries for 39 yards. Transitioning over to defense, James Williams picked off Ja'Cory Brown. Cyrus Moss had 3 sacks, including a strip sack. Lichtenstein had a pass breakup, a fumble recovery, and a sack. I told you guys, that dude went ham today. Leonard Taylor recorded 1 sack. Dunson had a big pass breakup in the end zone that prevented a touchdown to Frank Ladson. I think that it was TVD that threw that ball, but that was some really tight defense by Dunson. Borregales hit a 22-yard field goal as well. So, again, just kind of hitting you with some of the quick ones. There are many more stats from this game. There were other receivers that caught balls and some other defensive stats that we could have thrown in, but those are just some of the big hitters, just so you can kind of get a rough idea as a recap, or maybe if you missed it entirely. So we still have a lot of work to do, obviously, but we got a new coaching staff, we got new schemes, and I knew that going into today was just going to kind of be an opportunity to just see if these guys have progressed any. It's really, as I said at the beginning, a tool for the coaching staff to use so they can take this film and go back and review it and see how these guys are doing. We're not going to come out and, this doesn't show what our team is or is not going to be based off of the spring game. It's just not how it works. And I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who showed up for the live hangout during the spring game. I had a few technical difficulties because I've rearranged my setup a little bit for this season, but you guys showed me so much love, so many big time donos and re-ups on the Canes fan membership. We gained over 50 new subscribers during that stream, which is just absolutely wild. I have some huge things planned for this season. The simulations will be starting in June. If you don't know what that is, you're in for a treat. And then, of course, we'll have some full season predictions, and then, well, the season will be here. So we'll be doing our normal stuff with the previews and the call-in shows and the live hangouts during the games. So it's about to get crazy around here. Thank you guys for showing the channel so much love. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. And don't forget to let me know your thoughts and comments on the spring game, your takeaways, maybe some hot takes that I missed or didn't discuss. There's so much that we could talk about and cover. So let's chop it up down in the comment section below. Peace out, guys.